All right,
JSB.
Phil. Let's get it started.
Uh,
What
yeah.
do you know? What do you want to know?
What do I want to know?
What do you want to know?
I don't really know about
What do you
Mandalorians.
mean you don't know?
Hang on, I gotta record, guys.
If I knew what I wanted to know about Mandalorian, John Henry, I'd have some basis for knowledge, wouldn't I?
You already have a basis for knowledge. You just don't understand it yet. Look,
yeah, you're right.
you
I
think-
saw that one. That one that was played by Sasha Banks was really hot. That's my basis for knowledge.
All
and
right,
the one
that's
likes
a
the
good
baby. The one likes the baby.
That's a good basis.
One of
Who
them likes Baby Yoda. We like that.
Okay. So, all right. So, aside from that one chick being hot, are Mandalorians cool?
Are Mandalorians cool?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Mandalorians are pretty cool. They're way cooler than Stormtroopers and most of the other things in Star Wars, honestly.
Damn. Why do you think that is?
Well, because they use guns that actually kill people, as opposed to laser beams that don't do a goddamn thing.
Okay.
And also, their armor's not made of plastic.
All right. That's actually something I'm going to bring up later because I did a surprising. Technically,
Listen,
it was plastoid, plasteel, and durasteel, but that's not the point.
I don't think that
Oh,
their
it's
armor is
still
made out of
fine.
batteries.
That's Duramax. It's
No, that's the condom, dude.
Well, now I have to Google it.
Duracell?
Duracell is the battery. Duramax is the
I googled
condom.
Duramax and I got V8 engines.
I'm pretty sure Duramax are condoms.
About to find out.
No, that's Durex.
Oh, it's Durax.
Durex.
Yes, it is Durax.
Oh, all right, cool. That's another
Okay.
lore episode. Things I don't know about condoms, apparently.
All right, Phil. So I promised you one thing when we were starting this, and I want to get to it. But before we talk about Mandalorians in general, because the lore of them can be separated into three distinct things. There's the obvious, what is canon, what gets made into the Mandalorian, what's in the Clone Wars, all that sort of stuff that's going to be what matters moving forward. There's the old stuff that was in the Old Republic and Tales of the Jedi and what Boba Fett did after the Uzan Vong invasion and all that nonsense. And then there's sort of like the weird amorphous side thing that I think is very interesting, which is the meta, the construction about what makes Mandalorians cool.
Yeah,
And
that one.
The first thing you have to realize when you talk about Mandalorians in the meta context is that everything comes back to Boba Fett, regardless of how you feel about them in canon, regardless if you think that the Fetts are Mandalorians. If Dave Filoni says no, that doesn't matter, because it all comes back to Joe Johnston drawing some shit in his desk at Lucasfilm.
Yeah, keep going.
When
dude.
they made the original Star Wars, they did not know it was going to be a hit. In fact, it was really surprising that it was going to be a hit. That's one of the reasons Lucas got to make so much money off of the toys, is because no one thought it would sell because no one would see the movie. But because of the way movies were produced back then, they were obligated to produce a sequel. And they wrote like this really piddly, nothing matters, very bad sequel, and it turned into a book called like Splinter of the Mind's Eye or something. Han Solo's not in it. Darth Vader does whatever, and they're chasing crystals in a swamp. It sucks, and to this day, it's considered one of the worst Star Wars books. Back me up on
Luke
this.
and Leia, don't they hook up?
Yeah,
Or
it's
there's like a romance thing in there. Like
it's terrible. But then when Star Wars ends up being a really big success, there's a lot of freedom that they have to like build up to for the sequel. So they start throwing stuff all at the wall. And while drafting the initial concepts for Empire Strikes Back, one of the ideas pitched was for an elite group of stormtrooper super commandos that were all Jedi hunters. And they were from, quote, the Manda-lore system. This keeps getting refined until there was only one super commando in the same white, glossy armor as stormtroopers, but equipped with all kinds of special gear and gadgets and baubles and greebles and all sort of nonsense. What exactly this character was in the script was rewritten a number of times. Sometimes he was the Jedi hunter, the guy. Sometimes he was a top lieutenant of Darth Vader, his literal second-hand man, and that even still made it into some media. And in other drafts of the script, he was Darth Vader's brother, both before and after he was Luke's father when they were still figuring this stuff out. It wasn't until the development late into Empire, after they had already started promoting stuff, that he was relegated to the the ability of being a third-party mercenary. And with that, his aesthetic changed one final time. He was no longer the super trooper in the polished white armor with the good looks. He got turned into somebody who was more green, more earthy, more ragged. His armor was beaten, scratched, and bared a bunch of like trophies and pox and marks of the stuff that he's definitely done in the past to show that he is unambiguously a badass. And
Okay.
that became Boba Fett.
We like
And the
badassery.
The reason that I mention all of this shit is because everything that the Mandalorians have become in Star Wars all draws from that. All of those sketches, all of those ideas, all the broad swaths of those concepts, being it killing Jedi, being it associated with the Empire, being elite troopers, working closely with the Sith, even being their secondhand men, all of it still thematically enters the realm of what gets published. All right, so do you know how humans ended up like being in Star Wars? Like, do you know how they ended up being in the galaxy far, far away?
What?
Well, they were seeded by some of these architect type dudes who had like elephant masks, and the guy killed himself and then became part of the ecosystem that evolved from his genes into life, and then
At
later
first,
on. There was this girl, this lady who was on like a transport ship. Her name was Ellen Ripley. She encountered some eggs on a ship where this elephant man guy. Is that not the right? That's not the right lore, huh?
This is a
I
lot,
thought you were.
but I really want
thought
somebody to explain to me alien lore at some point, even better. Let's do that one too. I want to do aliens lore also. But yeah, no, I don't know why. I just assumed because they were casting humans, because duh.
Well, duh. Are we going to talk about the meta or are we going to talk about the canon? Come on now.
Why do I have
Yeah.
to pick? You're the one doing the video. I'm just here to reaction.
To you. I got to make sure my audience is on the right like caliber.
I'm on the right path, dude. I'm following along so far.
Dude, we want to hear
So
about
you're saying
Mandalorians. We don't want to hear
this is the
about
way?
humanity.
This
Humans
is
suck.
indeed the way. So the reason that I brought it up is because there is no right answer. Nobody really knows. Even in universe, nobody really knows because they all just sort of popped up all at the same time, whether it be within the realms of Hutt space or even in the old Tion cluster. But one of the most referenced planets as being the homeworld of humanity is the planet that would become Coruscant. And these were the nations of humanity that were broadly under the rulership of the 13 battalions of Zell. However, they constantly fought with a separate species called the Tong, who were essentially both Dark Elves and Orcs since before Star Wars happened. And they were warring with them for the entirety of their existence on that planet. It just kept going until the point where there was only one group of them left. One group of the Tong. And they decided, instead of going out quietly walking into that long night, they said, fuck it. We're going to attack them in the middle of the night and die fighting. And they did. They attacked the biggest fortress that was on the planet at the time, loaded up with humanity, and they just bombed in wearing face masks and like war paint, and they just crawled up to the top like they were the Mongols in fucking
Oh, dude, this is Mulan now?
yeah, they rolled in like the wuxia Mongols from the remake of Mulan, the ones that can run up walls.
Oh.
And right before they were about to get blasted into nothing in their final stand, the planet exploded. And by the planet I mean a volcano, which literally nuclear wintered the entire planet.
I was about to say that this sounded a lot like the Battle of the Delaware River, and then you said that the planet exploded, and it is definitely shot-for-shot remake of the Battle of the Delaware River.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's when the dinosaurs went extinct, right? The Battle of the Delaware
true.
River.
Yeah.
That's true. And in universe, this battle is codified as Delaware Verda. Hold on, let me reference the book.
Delaware River.
Delaware River. Yeah. That makes sense. All right, back to the Battle of Delaware Verda.
It wasn't the Battle of Delaware Verda.
Oh, it was just
Delaware Verda is the in-universe epic poem that tells the story of how the Tong fought against humanity.
Oh.
Yeah,
However-
after they crossed the Delaware River.
However, there is a gap in history, as often happens with Mandalorians, and they eventually got relegated to being kicked off of the planet. At which point, they migrated through space until they found the system that would come to be known as Manda-lore. In fact, Manda-lore in Mandalorian is, I believe it means the sole ruler. So they literally named their planet after their president. So imagine if we named a planet after Washington. We literally named a planet President Washington.
I mean, that makes sense. If America were in charge,
Capital.
we'd name the entire planet after
So
George.
one thing to be aware of with the early Mandalorians, when they were exclusively not humans, when they were this species called the Tong, is that they had a very prevalent religious society, right? With 3 major deities, but only one of which matters for this conversation. There was the deity that you want to venerate, which is all about being active and going forward and proactive and doing war. You have to do the fight because it's all about the struggle for survival and dominance, right? So you have to do this. In fact, their version of Satan was a dude that was basically just, hey man, why don't you chill out? That was their devil. That was their hell. So as you could imagine, they made war throughout the entirety of their sector. And that's when this list begins with an unknown amount of genocide.
Oh, we don't like genocide. That's like the Nazis thing.
An
It is the bad
indeterminate
thing.
amount of genocide, you say?
Because you can't, they're lost to galactic record.
Oh, this is the before times, the no-no
This
times.
is the before time.
Oh,
This is,
dude, this is the fucking lost century of human
This is-
history, dude.
Tong history, but still.
All right,
This
but
is somewhere between 24,000 years before the first movie and 7,000 years before the first movie.
all right.
Oh.
So just to get this right, this is not like Mandalorians. These are like the Tong, who have a guy named Mandalore, and they're murdering people because people told them they couldn't murder no more.
That's their president,
This
dude.
is the Proto Mandalorians. This is Mandalorians before they picked up the name.
Yeah, but are they the Tong, or this is like a conglomerate already?
They are the Tong that are now native to the planet Mandalore because they moved there.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure that this is a race and they're not humans, right? These are the
They're
Tong.
yeah.
not humans.
They
Not
got kicked
yet.
off of Coruscant.
They got kicked off of Coruscant by the humans.
Fucking humans, dude.
So
Yeah,
they
typical.
go around everywhere, messing up everything until they get to this one planet where they run into, I think it's Mantil, is the name of the planet, where are just these like ripped goblins that are like 10'5" called the Mantillian Giants, and they are the first species to ever just repel them. Like
I
they're
mean-
the first species to ever just be like, "Ouch, get off our planet." But they
Oh, except for like
them.
the humans.
If they're 10 foot, they're definitely hobgoblins at the very
They're
least.
huge.
Maybe bugbears even.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like bugbear territory.
Except for humans, you are correct, Phil. I'm missing.
Bunch of
I've got a gap
bunch of
in my
fucking
history.
Sasquatches, dude.
Oh.
Literally, they're green people. Like I'm sure Bromley put up a picture of it, but they're cool.
All right.
Is what it is. Anyway, but they rebuff them, but think they're so cool that they start adapting Mandalorian culture. Now, while
Oh.
the Tong are still like the guys in charge, that's the first like external species to be picked up and be made part of the Mandalorian whole.
Oh, dude, the bugbears?
Yes.
So the bugbears kicked the Tong's ass, and they're like, they kicked their asses so hard the Tong started adapting them, or they
Dude, they-
adapted the Tong's
They
culture?
adapted the Tong because they thought their armor was so fucking cool, dude.
Oh, dude.
Hell
yes.
yeah, brother! That's
Hell.
Halloween. That's Halloween costumes right there, dude.
That
In
is-
there.
When you kick somebody's ass so hard, you assimilate their culture. That's as American as it gets,
Amazing.
really.
All right, so this is where the first gap shows up for me, and one of the reasons that Steven is here is because from this point on, we transition from the Old Republic to Knights of the Old Republic.
KOTOR, dude. Nice.
KOTOR.
We go from Tales of the Jedi, where the Mandalorians are essentially space Vikings doing a great crusade, because if they win any war, they're going to heaven. Like, they're already in heaven because they're doing the dominating. They're doing
Oh
the
fuck
surviving.
yeah, Valhalla. Let's
Exactly.
go.
They're doing it across the galaxy. And the nascent Republic is like, maybe this is going to be an issue.
Oh shit. So they're like, we got to get the boys together to stop this.
Yes.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
Well,
The
they
entire-
couldn't even get the bugbears because the bugbears thought they were too cool, dude.
In fact, one of the biggest problems ends up being that they invade the planet I believe
Tatooine.
it's either called no, Tatooine's out in like the outer rim. They don't even reach there yet. They invade a planet either called Basil or Basilisk. I'm sorry, I haven't looked this up within the past day.
Bastila dude?
Yo, is
No,
this where
not
they get
yet.
their cool armor?
No. This is where they get their cool droids.
Oh, the war droids.
The war droids. They invade a planet called Basilisk, which is populated by literal dragon people.
Wait. 2 seconds here.
Go ahead.
This is 24,000 years before Star Wars, and they have droids already?
Yeah, dude.
Well, we're fast
Bro.
forwarding to about 7,000 years before Star Wars.
Bro!
Star Wars is ridiculous. Remember when Obi-Wan Kenobi says, for 1,000 generations? They took
That's
it
a lot
literally.
of generations, dude. Holy
Yes,
shit.
that is 24,000 years of stuff.
I
mean,
mean,
that's
the
a
Han
lot.
Solo was like
So-
1,000 years.
That is
That's
so
a lot.
Star Wars to take one offhanded comment by fucking Obi-Wan and just being like, well, that's established. That's actually
Well,
exactly
dude,
how long
I'm
it
just
took.
trying to figure out how fucking C-3PO started off so goddamn shitty after 20,000 years of robot ingenuity. This guy started off as a pile of garbage.
Well,
that's
Literally
a whole
and
different garbage.
figuratively.
as an aside,
And Anakin's pod racer was dog shit.
it's
he
true.
made that on his own. Maybe with a
True.
kid.
In a cave with a box of scraps, dude.
With a box of crap.
Yeah, no. The funniest thing about Obi-Wan's offhanded comments is that Anakin was only a Jedi Knight because Obi-Wan said he was a Jedi. He didn't say Jedi Master. He said Knight. So Mace Windu had to snub him that one time. Just that one time. All right, continue.
Remember when
Drag people with robots. We're back.
The actual like enacting what is literal is going to be an issue again when we come to it. Mostly in the Disney canon, but we'll get to that. So it's at this point that the Tongs start like just assaulting everything. Now my lore is going to be messed up here because I need to go back and look at some stuff. But eventually they get to the planet Basilisk, right? Where there are literal dragon people, intelligent, have conversations, build droids, dragon people that are part of the Republic. And the Mandalorians smash them with a foot coated in Beskar. Literally just put it in their butt. And the Republic is like, all right, we're going to send our guys to help you out. And that's when they send the Jedi. And that's when the Mandalorians meet the Jedi for the first time.
They
And the
became the best
Mandalorians
of
are
friends, right?
Okay.
They are not the best of friends.
fuck.
Reference
Well,
Boba
from a
Fett
certain point of view.
from a certain point of view. We'll get there. So, reference what I said earlier. They hunt Jedi, so they are automatically antagonists, right?
Oh man, they're
So the
bad
Jedi-
guys.
They're mud stomping these dragon people, but the Jedi actually kind of rebuff them. So the Mandalorians are like, "Eff it, we're gonna steal your droids and we're gonna steal your people."
Oh. Yeah, just take them. Fuck it.
Yeah, and
Bunch of fucking smogs. Take them all, dude.
And essentially, what happens to the basilisks is, over time, they just stop thinking, and then they just become war mounts. That sometimes, so this is genocide number 2. Via degradation into Logarat's war dragons.
Huh, I didn't know Din Djarin was such an asshole.
Wait, they actually fucking imprisoned these people to a point of mounted servitude.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
They
it's
stopped
enslaved
making
so hard.
droids and started becoming mounts.
No, they kept the droids.
Whoa, that's
They-
fucked.
They
up.
also kept the droids.
That's regression, dude.
They rode both of them.
They wrote both of
Oh,
them.
that's
Oh,
crazy.
no.
These motherfuckers were making robots, and then they got turned into like idiot mounted dragons.
They were still cool mounted dragons. But
Could
yeah,
they talk still?
I think sometimes they got qualified under semi-sentient, like Rancor.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
wild.
It's fucked up. This is how old school Mandalorians roll. They just were there for fighting and dominance.
And
this will come back
enslaving,
later.
apparently.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. They were bad guys back then, buddy.
Well, that one group didn't get enslaved though. They just were like, this is cool. We
Hey
wanna
man,
join you
I'm
guys.
pretty sure that the Mandalorian from The Mandalorian is the first The Mandalorian to be a good The Mandalorian.
We're gonna get there.
All right, just saying.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal is a good
Shiro was
Mandalorian.
Guy.
Listen,
Candace was kind of a cool guy as long as you ignores his backstory.
Yeah, but then the Fett guy was a piece of shit.
Mandalorian is good, but he could be better.
Mandalorian could be better.
All right, continue, Jen Henry.
I'm
They were
trying to remember
genociding
'cause
across the cosmos.
They were spanning across the cosmos, and I'm trying to remember how this war ends. Because there's two big ones. There's the Sith War and the new Sith War.
Yeah, with the Jedi kicking their fucking asses.
Both of the Sith Wars.
One Jedi specifically, but I'm trying to remember how the second one ended.
At
Well,
some
we're
point,
waiting for the,
are they still the Tong and
They are
Jason?
still the Tong this whole time. It's about to change, but they are still the Tong.
All right, get me to the point where they change, dude. At this point, they're just one evil piece of shit race.
Yes.
Okay.
They're one. So the ruler Mandalore has this mask that basically looks like an almond with a T-shaped visor in the center of it.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
And that
Classic.
becomes the mask of Mandalore. Now this first dude gets kind of like beaten up in a big fight with the Republic, and he falls down on the planet Cymax or whatever, and he literally gets ripped apart by just predators of the world. He's just ripped to shreds.
Nice.
I think this was Mandalore the First.
Get frick Mandalore the First.
Everybody
You
in
got
charge is named Mandalore.
Yes,
By the way.
everybody is Mandalore the something. Give me a second. I want to bring up a list so I can reference it.
Okay.
I want to be
So
Mandalore
they're-
the Sexy.
They're like, they're kind of like the Pope. How the Pope is always named like the same thing, basically.
Yes.
Like Pope John Paul the 58th or whatever.
I like how the ones that are named pious were always not pious.
No,
Oh
no.
yeah,
they're-
Pius is almost always the worst guy.
Yeah, that's the worst guy. You don't want that guy.
All right, Mandalore the Lesser sucks. Jaster Muriel is great. We're
More than
almost
meets
there.
the eye.
All right, so it's Mandalore the First, Mandalore the Conquerable. Okay. So Mandalore the First, yeah, whatever. Mandalore the
Wouldn't being the conquerable mean that you get conquered?
I'm
That's
sorry,
a shit-
Conqueror.
that's-
Yes.
My bad. My
I
bad.
was like,
I
that's a
confused
shitty name, dude.
It's
Mandalore
terrible.
the Indomitable with Mandalore the Conqueror.
It's like being Alexander the not great.
Alexander the
Alexander the perfectly serviceable.
The
The
lame.
alright, I guess. Alexander the alright. Alexander doing his best. Where the fuck are the Mandalores, John?
I'm telling you, I'm just trying to remember. I'm like 4 beers in. Give me a break. I'm about to crack open a Miller High Life.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh,
Get in there.
dude, the
Champagne
High
or
Life.
beers.
Called the Champagne
video is-
Beers.
This video is sponsored by the Champagne of Beers.
Absolutely not.
It's got effervescence, dude.
Oh
That
my
means
god,
bubbly.
it's so foamy.
Yeah, it's got effervescence, dude. It's
Because
bubbly.
it's champagne.
Hey, right, whiskey break.
Oh, dude, I heard that. Yes,
That was a very satisfying pop.
that was satisfying. I'm on beer number 2. I just cracked it while we were we were talking about Mandalore the Conquerable.
Mandalore, yeah. All right, Mandalore the Conqueror, Mandalore the Indomitable. That was the guy.
He's
He
the
gets
guy?
eaten by literal jaguars, and then his mats gets picked up by Mandalore the Ultimate.
The
So-
ultimate.
So just like for what it's worth, like their names aren't Mandalore before they become Mandalore.
No, it's a
They're-
title.
they put
They're
up.
like, I found this cool hat, and
They're
by
like-
by the rule of like claiming it in Finders Keepers, I become the Mandalore.
Yeah,
Yes,
they-
Mandalore means sole ruler.
So hang on. So what happens is guy dies, other guy picks up masks and he puts it on, and then like 10 years later he's like, nobody cared who I was before I put on the mask.
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
In fact, this actually becomes a bit of a problem because
Think
we
about all those
approach-
mass-produced masks, dude.
We approach the year about 4000 BBY. All right?
And BBY stands for
Before the Battle of Yavin, which means before the first
Before the
Star
first
Wars
movie.
movie.
ah,
4000 BBY, right?
yes, of course.
Oh, we're getting
We
into
get
territory now.
another Mandalore known as Mandalore
The Ultimate? I like the ultimate. That was a cool name.
It wasn't the Ultimate.
Oh man.
This is the guy. Oh wait, maybe this is Mandalore the Ultimate. Help me out here, Steven, because this is what I'm bringing up.
Hey, you know
This
what?
is the guy.
He's the ultimate. That's what we're saying it is.
I don't remember the name of the Mandalore that Revan killed
Okay,
because they're all Mandalores.
so
They're
remember
basically
that.
interchangeable.
Remember that Mandalores at this point are just bad guys.
Yeah.
Literally, their faith in their god is kill things and not be killed while you're killing things, right?
Yes.
So they are cutting an unstoppable swath through the galaxy. And the Republic, being the designated good guys, are like, this is a problem. Enter one edgelord who is a Jedi named Revan.
Hell
Edgelord.
So, I don't want to go in the weeds of how this technology works. But essentially, there's
I
something
Google
called
it.
a mass
It is
shadow.
definitely Mandalore the Ultimate. And also the mass shadow. Can I explain the mass shadow generator?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
About it. Was that what he didn't want to explain?
Yes, because it's in the weeds.
All right, dude. The mass shadow. All right. Listen. So this is about Mandalorians, right? And remember
Okay.
their cool ass planet, their cool fucking planet. So
No.
Revan was like, we can't beat these guys. They're too good at killing things because they've been killing things since 24,000 BBY, right?
Yeah. They've had 20,000 years of killing things.
Yeah,
They're doing
we've
a great
only been
job.
killing things for an indeterminate amount of time, for 1,000 generations or something like that, right?
Yeah, of course.
So he hires the Zabrak, who are like universal bad guys. They're the Darth Maul people.
Oh, that
Yeah.
guy's cool.
Yeah, and Revan was like, hey, what if you in secret made a weapon that kills fucking everything? I mean everything. And the guy's like, everything? He's like, yes.
Yes, just everything.
Fucking
And wait, this guy's
everything.
this Revan guy's a good guy?
Yeah, he's a Jedi Knight, dude. He's the best Jedi Knight. I don't know what you're talking about. He did this on the low. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's not like, you don't become a Sith for the things you do
Yeah.
in the shadows.
So
Of course
To be,
not.
so
to be
Revan-
perfectly clear, the Mandalorians have this coming.
Yeah. So yeah, they're genociding across the cosmos. So Revan is like, well, we're losing pretty hard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my fleet, this tiny little fleet, and I'm gonna take it to Malachor 5, little planet on the sticks, and we're gonna bait the Mandalorians. Then the Mandalorians are like, battle, fight. We go there, and then he's like, all right, Mr. Zabrak guy, turn on the button. He's like, but our fleet's there. And he's like, I don't give a fuck, and he teleports out of there. And then the mass shadow generator goes off, and it explodes the entirety of Malachor along with both fleets.
Oh.
Yeah.
They basically generate like a giant black hole.
That's not a very Jedi thing to do. I think this guy was playing for both teams, is all I'm saying, guys.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. We'll do our Let's Play of Knights of the Old Republic and find out more about Revan, I guess. But not now.
Oh, is he in that
Certainly not
game?
now.
He is that game.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Hell yeah, brother.
So Bromley didn't explain it in its full depth, but the mass shadow generator is a fascinating element of in-universe lore that completely disqualifies a bunch of stuff that happened in a lot of the sequel trilogy, which I don't want to get the bashing, but anyway. So the most important thing for the nature of the Mandalorians is that Revan takes away the mask because no one cares who they are without the mask.
Oh,
I thought
yeah, nobody cared who he was before he put on the mask.
Mandalore the Ultimate, though.
He killed him, but remember that first guy, the first Mandalore the Conqueror,
Yeah.
he also died. But another dude picked up his mask
So Revan
And that
steals
mask-
the mask.
with the letter T on it. Was very important because it was a symbol of leadership among the Mandalorian clans.
Yeah, that's how Bane felt too. You know?
Now, I should mention, Mandalore the Ultimate, one of the things that made him ultimate is that he got a premonition that the Tong would be killed to a man. And if he wanted his culture to survive in any meaningful way, he would have to bring in more than just that one species. And that's where Mandalorians first start to become the group that we recognize them as now in modern Star Wars. That's where it starts to become this sort of aggregate. It doesn't become a species. It doesn't become one genetic bloodline. It's a group of people that are committed to an ideal. An as yet evil ideal, but still an ideal nonetheless. And that's where you start to get human, Rodian, Zabrak, Erodian, Trandoshan, Wookiee, Mandalorians all start getting inducted in because now they're allowed.
There are other Mandalorians that aren't humans.
That's where we started.
Yeah,
buddy.
it can be any species.
You know,
But
you
they
know,
just only portray humans as Mandalorians, or what?
We'll get to that because a
Yeah,
lot of the
okay.
stuff that you've seen is from the Disney era.
So you know
Oh.
how on the Statue of Liberty it says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses." This is like, "Give me your tired, your poor. We're gonna genocide the entire universe, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore, and then we're gonna take their teeming refuse of teeming shore." It'll be great.
Yeah, okay.
The lifestyle of the Mandalorians is essentially the Monster Hunter gameplay loop. Kill Velociraptor, skin Velociraptor. Wear Velociraptor as armor. Kill dinosaur. Skin dinosaur, wear dinosaur as armor. Kill dragon.
Yeah, okay.
So on and so forth.
One of the things,
Man, I've missed so much important shit. Oh my god.
No
Well,
way,
one of
dude.
the things-
dude.
at least as far as the KOTOR era stuff, It's a little softened beyond we're going to genocide everybody because it's fun. Although that is basically the starting point. But basically, they start that war because it's a part of their culture that you go out and you kill the biggest fucking thing you can. And like John Henry said, then you use the stuff you use to kill that to kill the next biggest thing you can find. And so somebody who was definitely not the Sith told them about, they should have a crack at the Republic. And basically the Mandalorians went, you know what, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, they're pretty
and
big.
so they're pretty big. They're the biggest thing that's around here. So we're going to have a crack at them. And they start the war heroically and honorably attacking neutral systems that have nothing to do with anything. And the Republic's like, well, that sounds like a big case of not our problem. And part of Revan's thing for getting in the war was, I think this is going to be our problem, guys, and then it becomes their problem. But one of the things, like with Mandalore the Ultimate, him getting his ass kicked and losing the mask, they're mad that they lost the mask. They're not mad that Revan killed him, or that like their entire civilization got really fucked at that point when they lost it. Because their thing is, now we started the war, we lost, they were stronger, they're cool. And like every Mandalorian thinks that Revan is the coolest dude in the galaxy because he kicked their asses so hard.
Oh, dude, he's badass. Yeah. He's like those big goblin people.
Right.
That's like Conor McGregor after he loses any fight. Yeah, that guy was really good. Kicked the shins right out underneath me.
So I should probably
Conor McGregor
mention
is not a beetle, dude.
some stuff that I forgot that's actually really important,
Land.
especially when it comes to what happens in the Disney era of stuff.
Drop it on
sorry,
us.
I'm
30
several
seconds.
beers in.
30
The
seconds.
reason that they stopped on the planet Mandalore, or the planet they would name Mandalore, is two reasons. Number one, it was loaded with this special mineral that was only found pretty much on that planet and its moon, Concordia, that they would call Beskar. Translated into basic would be called Mandalorian iron. And it's one of the few materials that, even up to the present day in Star Wars, can resist a blaster bolt or a lightsaber strike directly. It's like Beskar, Frick, and Cortosis weave, which is weird. The other part is when they landed there, Godzillas were walking around. And they were like, hell yeah, let's kill them all. And they did. And they used their bones to make cities.
Godzillas!
Yes, they were called the Mythosaurs. And you might know them because, number one, if you ever see like this weird bull helmet, like bull skull shape, that was from Boba Fett's sigil in Return of the Jet in The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, the elephant.
That's the skull of the Mythosaur. The other part of it is, if you remember in season 1 of The Mandalorian, what's the Ugnaughts actor? Everybody's gonna know him by the actor.
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte?
Nick Nolte? Nick Nolte is like, didn't you ride the Mythosaur? You can ride the Blurg. That's what they're talking about. They rode the Mythosaurs until they killed them all and made cities out of their bones.
That's
I have
pretty
spoken.
sick. You can ride the Mythosaur. Yeah. That guy. I like that guy.
Yeah.
He's dead.
He is dead, unfortunately.
Wow, dude, spoilers.
Apparently, Ugnaughts lived for like 500 years, though. So
Oh, he didn't.
he did. He was like 200 years old.
That's
how
not
it
5, dude.
You
All
got
right,
me
cool.
there, Phil.
All right, cool. So Revan takes the helmet.
Revan takes the mask. No one cares who you are without the mask. And unfortunately, this is where I think I could be done better by allowing the people to talk about Canderous Ordo and Cassus Fett.
Oh, you mean Steven, dude?
Yeah,
Mhm.
by the people do you mean Steven.
You mean
You
Steven.
too, actually, because this is the Old Republic
Boba.
style stuff. Knights
So-
of the Old Republic.
I mean, there's a little bit of spoilers, but I'll not touch as much as KOTOR as I can.
Is that the like
But-
19-year-old game that
Really
nobody's
quick.
gonna be spoiled?
But it's
Actually, one more thing I want to say.
Hurry
Because
up, John Henry.
all of the stuff that I talked about that takes place between 24,000 and 4,000 years is only touched in like 1 or 2 books. The rest of it is just really cool background world building.
Uh-huh.
So it really only gets expanded upon in Tales of the Jedi, and then is otherwise referenced in like reference book that I own ad nauseum of. And then the rest of it starts to become things that actually showed up in canon, where you can look at a character and be like, that's a representative of that culture. All right, take the floor, Steven.
all right. So I know it's a 19-year-old game, but it is
Spoil
if you-
KOTOR for everybody. Spoiler
Spoil
warning.
it, dude. Just get in there.
If you've
Spoiler
never
warning.
played it, it's worth going in blind.
Yeah.
If you
you're
never played
skip
it-
to the link I'm gonna put post Steven's talking about.
Yeah, we'll put a thing.
I'll put a thing. I'll put a link there, right here in the. Go ahead, Steven.
So one of your companions in the first KOTOR is Canderous Ordo, and you meet this dude, and he is just gang boss, right hand man, punchy guy. And you find out, of course, he's a Mandalorian, and everyone shits their pants at when he shows up and threatens them. But you find out very quickly he is not just dumb muscle; he's very smart. And figures out that you were the player character of a first-person RPG. Or of an RPG, and it decides that the best way for him to survive what's going to happen is to join your party. And through him, you kind of throughout the game talk about the Mandalorian culture, and yeah, sure, it sounds bad that we were dropping asteroids on the planet of the cat people, but they put a military base in the middle of a city, so we had a reason to do that. We're not just barbarians. We're
Add that
barbarians
to the
with a
list
reason.
of genocides.
Yeah, that was another genocide.
The Cathars.
They
R.I.P. Cathars.
The Cathars? Alright.
Cathars.
Cathars.
Catra,
Yeah,
dude.
Cathars.
Catra.
Yeah, Catra, dude.
Oh, also along the list,
Chitara.
let me reference the list, because I'm pretty sure most of these genocides happened in the pre-Old Republic era. The Nevuda, which were a bunch of bug people, the Felinar, and the Talonians.
Did they have
Those
talents?
were the named species that they just removed.
Yeah, but those are only the named ones, right?
Yeah, remember there's an undeterminate number of them when they found the Mandalore system and were like, cool, let's start a crusade.
Sick. All right, keep going, Steve.
They didn't kill all the Cathars.
They did.
One of your party members is a Cathar. They killed most of the Cathars, though. Cathars are not doing well. But and because it's a game, they don't want to have you going up against the Sith the entire time. So you've got your secondary antagonists like Zerka Corporation, and a lot of times you'll find Mandalorians who have just kind of become, basically local bandits or hoodlums on the really low end thing, who are totally not a threat. Except they're dicks who are lighting, moisture farmers' houses on fire. And Mandarus is like, this is pretty fucked up. We're supposed to have pride. We're a warrior culture. We attacked the whole galaxy. And yeah, that was fun and we got our asses kicked, but stand the fuck back up. So him traveling with you through the game kind of inspires him to get out of his, I'm going to be a, 2-bit thug thing to, I'm going to redeem the Mandalorian people.
And does he?
And well, at some point between KOTOR 1 and 2, he goes looking for the mask. And then in KOTOR 2, you go to Duxun. Is it Duxun? The moon of Onderon.
DXUN?
Yes.
Yes, that is
You
the
go to
one.
Duxun. And, well, you get shot down over Duxun, because you're trying to go to Onderon, and the people of Onderon don't want you going there. So you crash in the jungle, and then you find Mandalorians, who are like, hey, we're on this moon. Come with us. Our boss wants to talk to you. And you go, and you meet a guy who's definitely not Canderous Ordo, who speaks with Canderous Ordo's voice while wearing full body armor. Because at some point, he found the mask. The player character might have helped him find it in between. I don't think they ever established that, or if they did, I don't know that. But he's Mandalore now. And I believe he is Mandalore the Preserver. And his whole thing is, we got our asses kicked. I'm going to travel with you because you're I recognize the player character of a RPG when I see one. And you're going to help me complete my side quest, which is finding Mandalorian clans and getting them to rally to my banner so that we stop being a bunch of homeless dicks and become dicks with homes again, so that we can begin threatening the galaxy once again.
So did they become dicks that threaten the galaxy again?
Of course they did, and they had a big role in the Old Republic, which I think is 200
That's
years
actually
later.
the part we are going to completely gloss over, except for one detail that Phil will care immensely about.
Right. The biggest thing, the only takeaway for the Old Republic is Canderous does succeed in reuniting the Mandalorians and getting them back together as a people. Does not succeed in getting them on the straight and narrow of we're going to be honorable warriors, and they go right back to their old ways of being complete assholes.
They do not get there yet. We're close. We're so close, guys. I promise you. However, we're going to completely gloss over the Tortanic because it's Tortanic. And I'm just going to tell you the big three. All right? So there's
Okay.
Mandalore the Lesser, which is literally just the Sith. We're like, hey, this guy's really charismatic. Let's definitely fix all of his fights in the arena and set him up as the new Mandalore. And they do, and he sucks. There's a reason his name is called Mandalore the Lesser. It's because everybody looked back at him and was like, that was a bad idea. So his name is Mandalore the Lesser. Then there's this other guy called Mandalore the Vindicated, which seems like a relatively cool dude. I don't know much about him. I could be very wrong. I don't know anything about Tortanic. But mostly important for Phil is Mandalore the Avenger. Now, Phil,
Okay.
you know how in RPGs they'll give you like an archetypal character that represents what that class or that career is, you know?
Sure, yeah.
So for like, you know, for the Old Republic, they had someone that was the character who, like, Bastila Shan was the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Darth Malgus was the Sith, right?
Yeah.
Well, for Mandalore the Avenger, like, the bounty hunter was Shay Vizsla, who was essentially a Mandalorian, and she was very pretty.
Oh.
Woman was built like an hourglass with red hair, green eyes, and the smoky eye that made her very popular in 2011. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, okay. All right.
And she becomes Mandalore, because of course she does.
Sick.
Yeah, dude, we love
At
that.
least they don't. At least they're not sexist. We just figured that out.
Stomp on me, mommy.
Oh, no.
Who's that one?
That's the thing. They're still assholes, but
Yeah.
they're egalitarian assholes.
Yeah.
They're
At least they're
getting
accepting.
better.
They love
That's good.
All right. So Spark Notes have so far, the Tong get kicked off of Coruscant because they're dickheads. They go to a different planet where they continue being dickheads, but this time they're dickheads riding Godzillas. Then
Yes.
they go and they rape and pillage across the cosmos. They get their asses handed to them. They're like, hey, our culture is going to die if we don't recruit other people. So some guy's like, hey, I have an idea. Let's recruit other people. Brilliant. They recruit other people. Other people outnumber them. Suddenly there's no more Tong. Now it's only like other people who are carrying on the Mandalorian legacy. And then we've explained.
But they're all 2-bit. They're all 2-bit thugs at this point, apparently.
Not
Well-
yet. We're almost there.
Well, then Steven just said everybody's a thug.
Well,
Well,
still
they were thugs, but,
yeah.
but they've come
Tortanic
back to
happened.
being conquerors.
At this
Ah.
point, I want to skip ahead to like Clone Wars.
We're
Mandalorians.
right about to get there, I promise you.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Mandalore the Uniter shit happens. Now, remember how... You probably don't.
No,
'cause
I
it's
don't.
been like 6 hours. It feels like it.
Uh huh.
But
It has
remember when we talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi talking about for 1,000
Yeah, yeah,
generations? Well, in the prequels, Frank says that for 1,000 years this republic has stood.
Okay.
And then they meant that to be the Rusan Reformations, which is the Republic reorganizing and becoming the better Republic. It's no longer the old Republic, it's the Republic of the prequels.
Wait, was there literally a
Republic
guy
Republic.
named Frank?
No, it's Palpatine,
Frank
but we're living the
Palpatine.
meme.
You gotta
Must be Frank.
my viewers don't know who the fuck Frank is, dude.
Yeah. Oh, like our Frank?
No, not that Frank.
Oh,
I was
I
talking
heard
about
that's Frank.
SheVP.
All right, then say SheVP, bro.
SheVP, but Frank is funnier.
I don't care. Say
That's
the
fair,
name
I
so
don't
people
either.
know who the fuck he is.
So this cycle continues until about 700 BBY. So before the Battle of Yavin, before the first movie, there's another Mandalorian war. And this time, the Republic is having none of it. And they essentially glass the planet Mandalore. Reduce it to
Oh.
essentially a few jungles, a few forests, and desert.
Dude, they invoked a Buster Call on Mandalore.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They Buster called the hell out of Mandalore. They base Delta Zero'd it. Confirm with me, Steven.
Yeah, this is 20,000 years of dealing with their bullshit, and the Republic has decided that they are done. And every time you see Mandalore in the Clone Wars, it is a white ball of sand with domed cities that they have to live in because Mandalorians are nothing if not stubborn.
This is where we get the split. And this split is the most important thing for anybody that likes Mandalorians and doesn't want them to be bad guys. Because we get 3 branches out of this. We get the first group, which we're going to call the New Mandalorians. And they are like, hey man, this war stuff is not working for us. We got to fix this. We got to leave that war stuff behind because we've genocided like 8 species. We've been in 1,000 wars, and we keep getting punched in the mouth, and we don't want to deal with that anymore. Our
They
planet
have
is
lost
ash.
every one of them.
They have lost all of them against the Republic. They decide to call themselves the New Mandalorian, and they are the ones that become the dominant power over the planet of Mandalore. And they separate themselves from the old culture so hard, they don't even use the old words. They don't even speak the old language of Mandoa. They don't call their rulers Mandalore. They call them king, queen, emperor, duchess,
Okay.
right? And
Okay.
these are the ones that are brought to the forefront in the Clone Wars. But they're not the only faction. There are two other factions. The first of which is called the True Mandalorian. Well, both of them are split into what is called the Alik, which I believe means the faithful. I could reference the book, but I don't think you guys want me to take the time.
No, you're fine.
Thank you. So there's the Alik, which are the faithful, which still hold the warrior ways. But down the line, even they split. Because there are two minds in that one. One that's like, hey, this war stuff is bad. We should work on self-reliance. We should work on being proactive. And we should teach the old ways. But maybe killing all these people? Maybe being isolated and angry? That's not the way to do things. And they call themselves the True Mandalorians. And then a third group is like, nah, we want to be the villains.
Okay. Do those guys just are those guys just refer to themselves as Mandalorians?
No, they call themselves the Death Watch.
Oh,
they're not playing around.
That is an edgy name.
No,
yes,
they
it
are not
is.
fucking around.
No, they're just the space Taliban, dude.
That
They
is
are
an
the space
edgy
Taliban.
fucking name. Okay.
Now, we're still in the realm of legends, but this is kind of now implied to happen in Disney canon. But there's a split between the Alik, where they turn into the True Mandalorians, and the Death Watch, when this guy named Jaster Mareel is crowned Mandalore of their group. And they split and they start fighting each other. So now they're just fighting each other. It's over the honor of what the name Mandalore even means.
Okay.
And they roll into a planet called, it's either Concordia or Concordan. I keep getting them confused. But they're holed up in some dude's farmhouse where they're just trying to hide out. The True Mandalorians away from the Death Watch. But they get abandoned. And the guy who was
People
holding
are
them,
there.
People are there. People live there. There's a
how
farming
many?
family.
You said they went to a farmhouse. How many
They went-
true Mandalorians versus Death Watch are there?
Not
not
a lot.
many.
They keep killing each other, dude.
All right, fair enough.
So they're on this planet of either Concord or Concordan. I can't remember exactly which one. And they're being held up in this farm, but the Death Watch finds out and they attack. They kill the guy in charge of the farmstead. They kill his wife, and right before they're about to kill his son, the True Mandalorians intervene. And Jaster Mareel, the leader, Jaster Mareel, I suppose, the leader of the True Mandalorians, picks up that son and inducts him, saves him, and brings him into the fold. That kid's name?
Picking it up right now. I'm picking up and putting it
Jango
down.
Fett.
Wow, I'm really picking this up. Hold on, I'm connecting some dots here now.
So
Okay.
Jango Fett becomes essentially the first Foundling, which is something
Yeah.
that becomes important in Disney canon. And he's an
That's what I'm
example of, again, this is how the Mandalorians are different from other expected cultures. It doesn't matter if you're human to them, to these true Mandalorians. It doesn't matter if you're human. It doesn't matter if you're Chiss. It doesn't matter if you're a Wookiee. As long as you're willing to be part of the family, you have a home in the family. The culture is open to you so long as you wish to join it. And at this point, we can talk about the weird side building stuff, because there is a whole constructed fictional language for the Mandalorians called Mandoa, which is where words like Beskar, Beskargam, Mandalore, Mandoa, Mandade all come
Yes,
from
Band-Aid.
that fictional language. They don't have insults.
Karen Travis, right?
Yes, all of it is from Karen Travis, who we could talk about, but we probably won't.
Okay, good.
We'll touch on what she did. Because essentially, Jaster Mareel continues with his True Mandalorians. Eventually, he thinks he's fought off the Death Watch. He thinks he's done with them. But, surprise, you can't kill the evil guys. They come back. And they kill Jaster Mareel. And then because of that, Jango Fett becomes in charge of the True Mandalorians, and he's Mandalore of 15 guys. Who
That's
are
not
then
very many.
tricked.
The title is much more impressive than
Yes.
the power he has.
It's true.
Sure.
He gets tricked to being on a planet called Galadriel? I can look this up. I know this. It's in front of me. Where he ends up running into a Jedi by the name of Dooku. And
Okay.
has been tricked into doing what he thought was helping out people fighting a rebellion, but actually ended up helping out in some war crimes.
That's the bad guy, right?
No, this is Jango Fett. He got tricked.
No, the other guy, Dooku.
Yes, it is.
He's
But
a
he
bad
wasn't
guy.
He wasn't a bad guy yet. He was still a Jedi.
Oh, okay. Well, fucking, you're on the
Mhm.
path, I suppose.
Hey, man, it's all intertwining webs.
Okay, cool. We're in there.
So, Jango Fett meets Count Dooku. Count Dooku arrests all of the Mandalorian, and by arrests them, I mean kills them.
Oh.
It's like 10 Jedi plus Count Dooku versus 15 Mandalorians plus 1 Jango Fett. And it's like, by the end of that fight, all that's left is Jango Fett, Count Dooku, and I think 1 Jedi. So the Mandalorians, the ones that consider themselves attached to the old ways by any definition, are basically just Jango Fett and some of the Death Watch dickheads that are still floating around out in space. The end to the story comes when Jango Fett finds the guy who was in charge of the Death Watch, a man by the name of Tor Vizsla, and kills his ass. As well as some dude who betrayed him named Montrose, which matters to anybody who's listening to this video and is also familiar with the lore, but dude, I'm like 6 beers in. What do you want from me?
Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Sure, Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Exactly, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. So essentially at this point, there is only one Mandalorian left. Only one true Mandalorian. And he happens to win a great contest to become the genetic template for an entire army of clones. But he has one condition outside of the money. He's in it for the money, but he has one condition. He requests 1 clone completely unaltered.
Okay.
I would like
And
to
from
point
there,
out.
we can-
I want to point out that that's just the true Mandalorians. The new Mandalorians are doing great on Mandalore.
Oh yeah,
Speaking
that's
of
what I.
this-
yeah.
That's what I assumed.
They're
They're
big.
like hanging out.
They're big chilling, not genociding or anything like that on Mandalore.
They're pacifists.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
that's
I'm
cool.
trying to transition into either you or Steven talking about it,
Oh, okay.
because I haven't watched all of Clone Wars. So
Hell yeah, brother.
take the floor from me if you could.
Yeah. So the kid was definitely Boba, right?
Yeah,
that was the clone?
Yeah, it's just Boba. The clone was Boba.
The unaltered clone is Boba.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
that's how we get to Boba from Mandalore. He's basically like one of the last true Mandalorians.
Okay.
And
The
like
faction.
yeah. And so the spark notes of the other half of Mandalorians, which is the one that nobody gives a shit about, so we won't talk about them too much. They're just chilling on Mandalore, being pacifistic, and during the entirety of the Clone Wars, there's just this like pissing fight between the new Mandalorians on Mandalore and the Republic, because they're very rich since they've been learning how to trade, and they have lots of power, and the Republic wants all their help, in terms of like resources and trade and warriors, because they still have they have the Protectors, which are these really incredibly powerful fighters, and Satine Kryze, who is the Duchess of Mandalore, is like, fuck no, we're pacifists, we're not helping you out.
Nice.
Obi-Wan Kenobi totally bangs Satine Kryze, by the way. 100%.
Okay, hell yeah, brother.
Oh, yeah,
Totally
no,
bones
that's
her, dude. Totally
absolutely
bones her.
canon.
Yeah, but at some point during this whole thing, you can watch the Clone Wars if you give a shit, but Darth Maul is like, that planet's really cool. What if that were my planet? By the way, Darth Maul, not dead. He just got his lower half cut off. Top half, perfectly fine.
Oh wait, is this when he has robot legs or when he has crazy spider robot legs?
He had
Which
spider
part are we
robot
at?
legs for like 15 seconds. He gets regular
Okay.
robot legs. He goes with his brother. He murders the shit out of Satine Kryze and is like, well, by trial, by combat, I'm the new leader of Mandalore, everybody. And everyone's like, yeah, that sounds about right.
No, that's the Death Watch does that, and he's the guy who's the man behind the scenes.
I mean,
And
he
then
definitely
comes out and
he killed her.
he did, but it was he was supporting the Death Watch, and they overthrew Satine's government. And
Sure,
then he
sure.
murdered. He kills off Satine because he's like, hey, you're Obi-Wan, and you definitely banged, right? All right, awesome. I'm
Yeah.
mad.
I hate Obi-Wan, and I
The-
love that you died.
He kills off the leader of the Death Watch, and then that's the point of I'm the guy in charge now. And Death Watch is the space Taliban, so like, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, the
Mostly.
big connection here is that the Death Watch is essentially just Clan Vizsla, and that matters because the Mandalorian from The Mandalorian, Din Djarin, that scene from the first series where he gets saved by some Mandalorians and because he's an orphan because some robots killed him.
Yeah.
Those are all Clan Vizsla. So people who knew about the Mandalorians at the time were like, yay, he got saved by Mandalorians, and then they saw the Vizsla symbol, they're like, oh no, it's the Death Watch. And that's why he was radicalized, is because he was saved,
So
right?
he was part of like the
And
bad guy ones?
adopted by the
Kind
space
of, yeah.
Taliban, right?
Oh,
If I could-
Hammer Mommy was a bad guy?
Yeah,
Not
if I could, Phil,
necessarily.
if I could, because we're walking into a weird line. One of the things that's really cool about Star Wars is that most fandoms are sort of like angrily segregated from one another. You know,
Yeah.
like if somebody's a fan of like Superman, you'll meet someone who's old and they're a fan of the Superman TV show from the 50s, or you'll meet someone who's a fan of Superman from the comics, or only a fan of the Superman cartoon, but the one that was on in the 90s, you know?
Mhm.
Star Wars isn't like that. Star Wars has this sort of like weird concentric overlaying nature to it, where it's like if you're a fan of one of the weirder things, you're also a fan of like the narrower thing. And the reason this is important is because Clone Wars is both old Legends canon, the stuff that was before the Disney takeover, and modern canon, the stuff that's after the Disney takeover. So a lot of what I talked about is not Disney. It's not relevant. It doesn't matter to Din Djarin, except for in maybe the broad strokes. But I'll clarify exactly what's different later, if that matters.
No,
But
don't. We don't
this
need that.
stuff
Don't worry about it.
matters.
All right.
Okay,
so,
well then
so,
I want to talk about it because
No, hang on. The last thing that matters about the Clone Wars is that up to this point, the Darksaber isn't really important, but the Clone Wars establishes that whoever like beats the guy who has the Darksaber, he's new Mandalore, right? Basically, right? Like instead of the
Basically,
mask,
I gotta talk
instead
about
of the
this.
mask, they've got the Darksaber, right? Okay, so
Okay.
they're all fighting each other for the Darksaber, and it ends up being in Darth Maul's hands because he beats the guy, he kills the guy who had the Darksaber, and that's why everyone's like, he's the new leader of the Mandalorians, right? So he spends the time being like this crime syndicate leader of the Mandalorians. And then somehow in the future, right, because there's fucking 45 years between then and the Mandalorian, it got into the hands of that one guy.
Teespring.
That's why, and that's why they were fighting over it in the Mandalorian, right? That was why it was.
I want to add to this because this is actually one of the cool things from the Disney continuity that doesn't get talked about much.
Uh-huh.
Remember how I mentioned that Frank Sheev mentions that for 1,000 years this Republic
Hang
has
on, stop. Start that entire thing again and just say Sheev. I'm editing the part where you said Frank. Yeah, just start that whole thought over again and just say Sheev, please.
So Sheev Frank Palpatine.
No, start
was
over
like,
again.
This is the point.
I don't care. Just say Sheev. Say Palpatine.
Oh my god!
I
I'm
don't know
so
what you're.
wrong.
I don't know what it means either way.
Yeah,
For what
'cause-
it's
I'm
worth.
so wrong anyway because I'm
The
missing
Emperor.
so much shit. At the Emperor. So
Okay.
Palpatine says that for 1,000 years this Republic has stood. In old canon, we already had that the old Republic has been around for 1,000 generations. So there's a timeline in between there where there's the Republic, the old Republic, and the new Republic, right?
Sure.
In Disney, we don't have necessarily the same background lore, right? In old canon, that 1,000 years thing was like a reorganization. There was a war, but it wasn't anything like the Republic wasn't threatened. You know, it was a war between the Jedi and the Sith. It was a war of ideals, not of existence. In Disney canon, whatever happened back then, whatever the Mandalorians did, all the stuff we talked about that they did in the Old Republic, where they fought the Republic and they lost, they didn't.
Yeah,
The
they
Old Republic
burned the Jedi Temple.
was burned to the ground. Gone.
Huh?
And the reason, yeah, the Mandalorians did way more in new canon if you're just looking at the broad strokes. However, the important thing about that Darksaber is that there was one member of the Mandalorian culture who also made the crossover and joined the Jedi Temple. And he constructed the Darksaber. So it's a strange representation of the power of both the Mandalorians as an individual people and as a member of the greater Galactic Republic.
That is the most Shadow the Hedgehog thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Hey man, I
He's
didn't write Clone
a
Wars.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian OC, Gray Jedi.
And
What about
the
the
Jedi.
what about like there's the lady Mandalorian from Clone Wars? She's not important.
No, she is.
She's from 700 years after that happens at minimum.
Yeah, she's.
Well, that's what I meant. Like she's important in some way, right?
So she's
Yeah, of
remember the pacifist leader who
Yeah,
got
yeah.
killed. Yeah, that's her sister.
Oh,
Yeah.
And she's the second in command of the Death Watch.
Yeah, she's like, sister, you're an asshole, and she's like, no, I'm not. I'm a pacifist. And she's like, but what if we were all assholes? And then she joined the Death Watch, and she learned the error of her ways or something like that. But that's why she was obsessed with getting the Darksabers, because she wants to be the leader.
Remember when Darth Maul took over? Bo-Katan looked at that and she was like, no, this is messed up. And then everybody was like, yeah, but he did the important thing. He won in martial combat. He's in charge. And she was like, no, he's a Jedi. I don't want this.
Yeah.
And then all the fans were like, no, he's a Sith. And she's like, I don't see the difference. And then she ducked out of there.
Yeah.
So she was like, I've made a mistake.
Correct.
She wasn't
No,
making she wasn't making a principled stand because Darth Maul was evil. It was, this guy's not a Mandalorian. He can't be in charge.
Oh, he's like, this dude just fucking sucks.
Yeah, Bo-Katan is kind of a dick.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
she kind of
like,
sucked.
dick.
I like Sasha Banks being a Mandalorian though. She was hot.
Yeah, like remember that John Henry said that there were the two true Mandalorians? She was like not quite Death Watch dick, but she was still like dick, you know?
She was still
Yeah.
Death Watch. She was just not as much a dick as like
She wasn't a good guy, but she was aligned with the good guys because they're,
Yeah.
you know, getting rid of Darth Maul was in everybody's interest.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and that
Okay.
so at some point after this, the like after the Clone Wars, and after the Emperor Palpatine took over the Senate and became the Senate, he was like, we don't like Mandalore. And then they completely glassed the planet. And by
wait,
completely,
Bromley, I need you to re-record that line.
Hmm?
The audience isn't going to get the joke about how he became the Senate.
Get wrecked, dude. Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to make inside jokes of John Henry.
It's not an
man.
inside joke. That's actually just a regular meme, as opposed to just this guy saying that it's fucking Frank out of context.
Allow me to be frank.
No.
Anyway,
I'm gonna move John Henry to a different chat while I talk about this. All right, cool. Now I can talk in peace. I don't even know where I was because John Henry was more.
You were he became the Senate. He said they blew up Mandalore.
Yeah, he actually blew up Mandalore. There's no more Mandalore at all. Right,
you're not allowed to do that. That's
just
fucked up.
gone. It's just gone. There's basically just a few tribes who made little domes on the basically meteorites that are or meteors, right?
Oh, they
Wait,
blew
hold on.
that bitch up.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about what's in Rebels?
Hmm?
Are you talking about what's in Rebels, the planet that's chunks?
Correct.
Okay, you're off a little bit because that's not Mandalore. That's Concord Dawn.
That's a
the
different
moon
planet
of
the
Mandalore.
Mandalorians blew
It's not a
up.
planet. It's a moon.
Of Mandalore.
Remember that place that Jango Fett was from? Concord or Concord Dawn?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
that's chunks.
No, that's two different places. The moon of Mandalore is Concordia. Concord Dawn is a planet in another solar system.
My bad.
My brain
I get 'em
hurty,
confused,
guys.
man.
My brain hurty.
I'm
But
like-
they did blow the fuck out of Mandalore.
Yes, the
Again.
Mandalorians
Bombed
is
Mandalore in the old canon, which is what we're still talking about because we're almost done with that. Because remember, 24,000 years.
I thought we were in the Clone Wars. What happened?
they like we said before, Mandalore was already a glassed out ball that people were living in domes in because it was uninhabitable, and then the Empire made it worse.
How'd they do that?
We haven't seen it, but
Yeah,
they
they
might
blew it
have
up
blown
again.
Or
We
they,
have
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
one
blew it
way
up
they were
again.
going to do it.
Okay.
They didn't have a
okay.
Death Star at that point, I don't think.
Yeah, they weren't
Things-
fucking blowing up wherever.
I'm
fucking-
pretty sure that
that one lady-
Palpatine just brought out his Sith fleet from Sith land,
Probably.
and they just lasered the shit out of it.
Now, all right, I'm going to go pee-pee before we get the outro. Be right back.
Are you gonna leave that part in the video? John Henry saying he has to pee.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
want
just
the-
I'm just gonna
I want the fries,
intersperse.
frying chicken.
I'm gonna get the intersperse little tiny pieces of just JHP saying the word PB several times throughout the video. You know,
Well,
he'll just
either
be like,
way, guys, I think it is a success. It's just we need to have an executive meeting on how we want the exact format to go next time. This one is stretching a little bit, but that's okay.
yeah, it's okay. I just gotta edit a few things. I think I will put some funny pictures.
I love funny pictures.
Get some meme pics of the boys.
Edit all of me out.
Oh yeah, of course. Steven
No.
can't have Steven in it.
No, we
Oh,
gotta put Steven in it so I can see how handsome Steven is.
That's true. I like Steven being the straight man at all times. I
Taylor
like
High
that.
Lifes are not bad, but
Yeah, you're gonna have to pee a lot, dude.
what do you
Well,
think
I
I'm
mean,
You're
in?
just chugging water, dude.
Yeah, you're just drinking water.
All right,
Let's say,
cool.
why did you fucking trick me into this?
All right,
it's
so-
not
Dude, I
bad,
just-
but I'm like 3 beers in.
All right, Phil. Now that you're an
Okay.
expert at Mandalore.
Yeah,
Not even
Mandalore.
close.
Yeah.
All right,
Not
give
even
us
close.
the spark notes, dude.
So what I thought was the big thing for me was you started talking about the branched off guys, and I was like, bro, that makes a lot of sense because I saw the Mandalorian season 2, and it made a lot of sense that there were different, the branches, and I could put fucking Pedro Pascal into the one that I thought was correct. So that was cool. I like that because I didn't know anything about the Death Watch guys up until that point, and I still didn't know up to the Death Watch guys until you explained that part past that point. So yeah, that was cool. But Cliff Notes, bunch of fucking Mongols, dude. They just fucking Mongolian to cross goddamn, Russia or whatever, conquering shit, and then they got their asses beat down by Alexander the Great a couple times. Until
Basically.
they got their planet blown up, and by their planet I mean their civilization, like the Mongols. And then fast forward a couple thousand years, and you get all the cool stuff from the Clone Wars, which is when Darth Maul comes back and has spider legs for like 5 seconds. He gets a dark saber. The dark saber is really important. He kills the lady that Obi-Wan Kenobi bangs, who also is hot Mandalorian lady's sister, and she's a bad guy, but only because she doesn't like Jedi. And he gets his sword taken away by Gus Fring because he loves fried chicken. And then we get there's like the Clone Wars, and Boba Fett didn't actually die. He just became really old. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I like the Mandalorians. I did actually learn a lot. I'm paraphrasing.
No,
Quite a
that
bit
was great.
for the outro.
You passed, dude. We give that man an S+.
I forgot all the Knights of the Old Republic stuff. The Mandalorian guy apparently breaks the third wall. That's all I got out of it.
I was about
Or
to
breaks the
first
fourth
or
wall.
third wall. There you go.
Breaks the
Look,
fourth wall.
I
I've had
failed.
2, John Henry.
I failed.
No way,
Not
dude.
because you didn't learn something, but because you didn't remember that Shea Vizsla is fine.
Oh, I didn't.
Uh,
Oh, is Shea Vizsla the one that banged Obi-Wan Kenobi?
No,
that's
Satine Ren.
Ah, fuck. Sorry, my bad. Who's Shea Vizsla?
No,
oh, Shea Vizsla
Kryze.
was one of
It's
the
Satine
Mandalorians.
Kryze, not Ren.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sitting Kreese.
Yeah, she's not related to Sabine Wren. Those are totally different.
She was
clans, dude.
Mandalore the something,
fuck.
right?
That was very wrong on my part.
The
We
Yeah.
didn't talk about
She was
Avenger.
Mandalore the hot? Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, I just
Mandalore the Fine.
Mandalore the Fine.
All right,
yeah.
hold on. Here's your Patreon exclusive about Sabine Wren.
Wait,
Hold
no.
on, let's finish the outro and then we do this the Patreon exclusive.
What? This is
What?
not Patreon exclusive. If you want to talk about Sabine Wren, I guess you talk about Sabine Wren.
No, we gotta talk about that's gotta be the Patreon exclusive because it has nothing to do with
There's no
Mandalorian lore.
Patreon exclusive, dude. I don't do those.
Yeah, it's true.
Now.
We don't have exclusive shit, really.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
they can go on our
Sabine,
Discord.
dude.
All right, that's fine. We can talk about Sabine on a different date, dude.
Sabine
There's
could
no-
be a whole
She could
video.
be a 5-minute video.
Could it?
dude.
Could it?
Yes.
I don't know. You tell me,
Sabine is
dude.
the biggest Mary Sue in all of Star Wars. That's not true.
We love Sabine Wren, dude.
We love Sabine. She's a Mary Sue, but I love her anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love Sabine Wren. What are you
That's because
talking
you don't love anything, you fucking asshole.
That's true.
I love a lot of things. Hold
Oh,
on.
yeah?
Can we do Godzilla next?
No, we're gonna do Johann Sebastian Bach next.
You're
Are
full
we
of
doing-
shit.
Are we doing Bach next?
We're
Hell
doing-
yeah.
There's
We're-
no way we're
I
doing
think I
Bach.
know a little bit about Bach.
We're
I'm
doing
kind of down.
Bach next because he's the most interesting man who has
I had
ever
a
lived.
music appreciation class.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
I know a little bit about Bach.
We can teach you and me can teach John Henry.
I don't know that much about
Oh,
Bach,
well,
dude, and
alright.
I don't want to
Yeah,
do
hold on, I'm not-
research.
I said
I'm
you and
nowhere-
me.
I am nowhere near as entertaining an audience as Phil.
All right, I'll
Dude,
teach.
I don't know
I'll
anything
teach
about
Phil,
Bach.
dude. I got you, easy peasy. So anyway, Phil passes, right? He passes.
I feel like I gained a small amount of knowledge. I know none of the names really. I know that there's Wait, Mandalore the Conquerable. We don't like that guy.
No. It's all about Mandalore the Ultimate. That's the best name ever.
Mandalore the Lesser was a bad prize fighter that the Sith liked, and everybody hated him.
Yeah,
and Mandalore the Ultimate was the ultimate Mandalore. So, like, really? And he got sucked into the Galaxy Shadow thing, and that's crazy.
Really?
He's fun.
Oh, do you want Wait, hang on.
Draven took his helmet.
Hang on. I gotta give you what the actual mass shadow is generated because it makes no fucking sense. Okay, so
it makes perfect sense.
everything in the universe has a mass shadow, right? And sometimes these mass shadows manifest during hyperspace, and they just like obliterate things in hyperspace. So if you're going through hyperspace, you really don't like mass shadows, and it's essentially a black hole, right? That's really what it is. Is a black hole, right? So the mass shadow generator makes mass shadows, and so it just made a really fucking big one, and it ate the entire, like, basically the planet and all the fleets. The planet is actually still there. It's all fucked up. Definitely riddled with dark magic. I mean, sorry,
hold on.
Dark side.
Listen, hold on. Wait. Normally, when I talk about lore shit, I don't tell people that they're wrong. But that said, objection! You're wrong. The way that mass shadows work is that hyperspace is a sub-reality level of space, right? It's essentially an alternate universe that is tethered to real space. And everything that has mass in the real space universe has a mass shadow in hyperspace. Now, the reason this is important is because if you exit hyperspace into or around something that has a mass shadow, you're caught in a gravity well and hit something substantially larger than yourself. There's a few instances of this being in Legends, and a few, I think, even in canon, of a ship exiting hyperspace and slamming into something and then everybody dying. This is literally the thing that fucks up what happens at the beginning of The Light of the Jedi. This is an old, like, lore expansion in the Old Republic. This is actually completely contradicted by what happens in The Last Jedi, but that movie kind of sucks and nobody talks about it, right?
The Force Awakens, dude. The entire sequel trilogy.
Yeah, like, the entire sequel trilogy just fucks this, so whatever. But what happens is, because exiting inside of something that's big and has a big mass shadow inside of space, real space, will kill you. Every hyperdrive has a mass shadow detector in it. And if you're about to hit something that has a huge mass shadow, it just shuts off. It says, no, this is dangerous, we're not going to do it, so it just doesn't work. Now, you can manipulate reality in real space. And the way that this works is in interdiction technology. What interdiction technology is it projects a cone or a point that alters the forces of gravity in that area of real space.
Dude, we were talking about mass shadow generators, and you went into interdictor territory. You motherfucker.
The mass shadow is the interdictor.
I know, but we don't need to talk about the interdictor. We were talking about the mass shadow generator. You did the great...
Yeah, but that's the same thing.
Listen, you know a whole lot about the mass shadow generator. You explained it much better than me, but also we're not talking about the fucking interdictor.
We're also not recording, and I'm just doing this for fun.
I am still recording.
Well, then you're gonna get this as a recording. So anyway, there's a Star Destroyer with tits, right? And these tits generate.
It's the booby ship.
Phil,
right.
Listen
hang on.
Wait.
It's important. The interdictor is a space pizza with boobies on it.
With four
of them.
It's got mommy milkers.
Interdictor. Immobilizer 418.
INTERDICK.
Star Cruiser?
Tur.
Star Destroyer?
Yes. Star Cruiser.
You want the cruiser or the destroyer?
We want the cruiser. Because that's Legends and it's real.
Oh, it's got tits!
Told you.
Titties, dude.
I'm gonna put it in Fate memes because it's got tits.
God bless you, Phil. I'd high five you if we were in real life right now. So anyway, we're getting to
like
the
when
end
I
of
put feet pics in there because they toe the line.
So anyway, we're almost to the end of it. So essentially what this stuff does is it manipulates gravity in real space to create a mass shadow in hyperspace so that anything that's traveling by it goes, no, we're going to hit a planet, and drops out into real space. And that way you can stop anybody from jumping away or getting out of your hair or, like, you know, slamming into a planet, that sort of thing. It's mostly safety technology. Now, Revan is a piece of shit, and he decided to generate a huge mass shadow on the planet of Malachor 5. Now remember that
What happened to the
generating
other
a
four
mass
Malachors?
What?
What happened to the other four Malachors?
The star is named Malachor, and the individual planets are called Malachor 1 through 5.
That'd be like if we were Sun 3.
We are literally Sol 3.
Yeah, I hate that.
Well, get over it. Anyway, so what he does is he generates a mass jet. He lures all of the Mandalorians to this planet, Malachor 5, draws them in for a fight, says, hey man, you think you can take us? And the Mandalorians are like, I'm gonna send it. So they show up in orbit of this planet, and he just crushes it in the fist of a gravitonic clench. Just wrecks it. Removes anything off of the surface, crunches it into a solid material easily, and just destroys the fleet in orbit. And then Mandalore's like, what the fuck, dude? And then Revan's like, I'm gonna duel you because it's Star Wars. And then he does, and he loses.
Yeah, wait, how come he didn't die when his whole
He wasn't with the fleet,
The
dude.
planet didn't get destroyed.
Yeah, he was
Like,
like,
The planet got
said
fucked. What are you
that.
talking about?
it
The
didn't get
surface of the planet got fucked.
destroyed. You can go to it. It's the final level of the friggin' game.
Is it base Delta Zeroed?
It is fucked
Yeah,
because
it-
it got crushed in a black hole, sort of. But the planet is still there. It's
Phil.
extremely unstable.
Bill, for reference here, base Delta Zero, put an equal sign. Fuck.
Got it.
That's the planet from orbit.
Got it, dude. They got
Now I'm
motherfucked.
just here for fun. Ask me questions, Phil.
No.
What the fuck you mean, bro?
All right.
Wait,
All right.
How
Phil-
many mommy milkies do the ships usually have?
Zero.
I say mommy milk.
Do all ships
Hey.
have mommy milkies?
No.
Hey.
Just that one, dude. Just that
Oh,
one.
shit.
No. Hey, look up the Interdictor Star Destroyer.
I thought I did.
No,
No,
you
just
looked
the
up the
cruiser.
cruiser.
Oh shit.
All right, Phil.
Oh, I
Did you
spelled
get
it wrong.
did you get filled in?
Hold on, let me see the starter sugar real quick. I want to see how many milkies it's got.
Many milkies, dude.
It's got the same amount. Oh, it's got double the amount. Wait, it's got top and bottom milkies. Unless
Well,
this picture
the
is bad.
cruiser has top and bottom too. You just can't tell.
Depends on the variant of the cruiser.
Hmm.
If we're gonna get obscure.
Holy shit, these are some
Every
big
picture
boys.
I've ever seen has them on the top and bottom. But
Those
I'm sure
are
there's a
large.
model
There
somewhere
are
that only
obscure
has them
ones.
on the top.
Those
There
are
are
large and in
obscure ones
charge.
that only have 2 sets of domes on the dorsal.
I did. I feel
All right,
like I
don't
learned a lot.
actually me. You want to co-sanar this bitch again?
Oh my god, yes! Yes!
No, not now. We're finishing this episode, guys.
I got
Can we
filled
just
in,
talk
dude.
about the logistics of space pizza?
My name's
Probably
Phil,
let it die.
and I got filled in.
More like filled up. Made it sexual.
Both of those were sexual. What are you talking about?
Yes.
Wait, is filled in sexual, dude?
I'm gonna send it.